This is the Sinister Minister, Father James Mitchell, and you are listening to Aaron, Nate, and Chad on the Reliving the Extreme podcast. Make sure you smash the like button and share, or you will burn in hell.
This week on Reliving the Extreme, we are covering the episode of ECW from October the 4th, 1994. Nate Maxson, your host, here with you, along with my brother Aaron.
Hello, everybody.
And the 4th of July celebrating Mr. Chad Austin.
I hope everybody's having a fucking 4th of July celebration that, don't forget what we're doing this for.
Well, yes, and around I know around here, I don't know about there, but around here, every hillbilly with four fingers is setting off fireworks right now. That's what's going down. Aaron's outside, so you'll probably hear the booming in the background, everybody.
And then next year, every one of these hillbillies are going to have three fingers.
Yes. Eventually, they're just setting off their fireworks with a stump. It's fun.
Yeah, I can totally imagine how that is. You guys are in Ohio.
In the middle of a field, basically.
Yeah, in the middle surrounded by cornfields. So.
Hey, whatever happened to Ohio versus everyone?
I don't know.
Do you remember them?
Yeah. I think they all just kind of wound up in different places.
Like, what do you mean different places? Like
companies?
Not working? Walmart and Food Mart? What do you mean? Toys R Us? Kids R Us?
Oh, what was his name? The leader one that thought he was hardcore.
I don't even know what their fucking names were.
Sammy Callahan was in it.
Sammy Callahan, yeah, he's working at the local Jiffy Lube now.
An Impact.
Oh, so the local Jiffy Lube.
So Sammy Callahan works at a local Jiffy Lube?
I assume so.
Oh, all right. So that's alleged then.
Yes, that's alleged. It's all speculation on my part. Oh. Yes. But yes, like I said, this is the episode of ECW from October 4th, 1994. I did not hate this episode. It was pretty decent. We start off the show building, and we're building something throughout the show here. Intrigue to see why Joey Styles is at the local hospital.
Love it. I loved it. Loved it.
Tell a story throughout the show. Keep the viewer hooked. This is how you book a TV show.
And he's well outside the hospital, though. Like, ooh, Jesus. But they were like, they weren't going to let any of these people into the fucking hospital or even the parking lot. So he's like across the street, but it's still good.
What? I mean, does it matter?
No, but he's like, I'm reporting outside of the hospital. It's like, you're across the street. You're in like the 7-Eleven parking lot.
Yeah. And then he's getting a big gulp. He's getting a big bite.
The hot dog off the rollers.
Yeah, probably a can of dip. He's spending about $26, hoping that whoever's going to be there is going to be there, and they're not there, and he's just like, I'm just wasting my time. That's Joey Styles, everybody.
Well, like I said, this is to build intrigue through the show for the angle that we're going to see in a little bit. We start out the show with a match between Jason, the TV champion, and Hack Myers. But before the match starts, there's a Jason and Dean Malenko promo. Todd Gordon comes into the scene and says that if Dean Malenko interferes in any more of Jason's matches, he will be banned from Jason's matches.
Apparently there's nobody watching that match.
Yeah, I was going to say this does not take long to come to a head. Yeah.
Jason's response is ridiculous, though. He says, if Dean Malenko gets involved in any more of your matches, he's not going to be allowed at ringside anymore. And Jason goes, fine.
Well, I mean, what do you expect such an articulate guy like Jason to say?
He just said, fine. Okay.
I mean, do you think he's going to have some kind of clever, like, promo to come back with? When he's clearly just wearing suit jacket with no shirt on. No.
How do you like my ridiculous look?
How do you like my ridiculous comments?
Well, the match starts off. One of my notes that I have here is Hack and Jason have similar pants in this match.
I noticed that too because I was like, he's got new pants in a row. He's still fucking lame, but at least he's trying. And then he's like, he wore matching pants of his opponent. They look like they were a team.
That wasn't a bad match at all.
No, the match was fine. It just it was a good showcase for both guys. Again, like we said, you're starting to see Paulie booking the show to accentuate people's strengths and downplay their negatives. And but
who is the guy that they were booking the strengths to there? Was it Dean or was it Hack? Because Hack got his spots in, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say Hack looked good in this match. It wasn't a squash at all. He looked like a competitor. You know, he was trying to beat. I don't know if they ever said it was a title match or not, but he's trying to beat the champ.
They did,
but that was a deal where, like Paul looked at it. This is the way I see it. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I was only there. That Hack was going to be there. Dean wasn't going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to do something with this guy, you know, and it's not going to hurt Dean, you know, to put a guy over.
The Hack Myers here, he's in charge of the match early, but Jason hits him with a low blow. And then after some back and forth action, Malenko comes in with a choke with his towel on Hack Myers, and Jason pins Hack, and that's how that goes down. Like I said, the D Malenko's going to get banned if he interferes one more time. Angle didn't last very long, maybe 5 minutes. Like Chad said, was anybody actually watching this match? Because you just paid off the Angle right after you started it.
If I was a betting man and Axel was there, if Axel was in the locker room during that show, I would have bet you he would have told Hack Myers, no, you're not doing that. I'm telling you, he would have said that. You're not doing that. You're better than that. You should be pushed.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it. I just know it because I've seen it on other independent shows. The way Axel just had an affection for that gimmick for Hack Myers.
Mm-hmm.
And he wouldn't let anybody like taint it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, he would have never let it happen. But Hack was just like, dude, I'm here, man.
Mr. Agreeable.
Yeah, I'm ECW.
So wait, what you're saying is Axel saw more in Hack, and Hack kind of just liked being part of the show. Like enjoyed, you know, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it.
Yeah, because I've had conversations with Hack how we were gonna travel together, and we just couldn't do it because we had different, like a whole entire different vision of what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. There was a Florida run where it was going to be like three towns in Florida, and I was going to fly down, and I told him to fly down. Oh, I was going to drive down, and I told him to fly down, and you can ride with me. And then it all got fucked up. And then he ended up making a big deal saying it was all my fault. You know, I'm like, no, it wasn't anybody's fault.
Shit happens.
Like, yeah, you know what I mean? It wasn't anybody's fault. And then me and Hack, our paths have crossed so many times. Like, me and Hack grew up together, man. I've said it on this show multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up together. We were buddies. He stayed at my house multiple times. But yeah, he just, like, you know, I mean, I don't know what it was. I mean, was it an intangible, or was it the fact that he didn't go to Paul and say, what do you think I can do?
Right. Yeah, he didn't put himself out there. Like I said, it just seems like you were saying, he's just being agreeable. And, you know, whatever you're going to do with me, you're going to do with me.
I used to call Paul all the time. I used to call him, like, I'd call his number, and I would get the mystery house guest. The guy that would answer the phone and would go, hello. And I go, Paul? I go, no. And I just knew it was Paul.
It's so weird. It's so fucking weird to me. Like, that whole thing is just so weird.
Yeah.
I wonder if he still does it. Vince McMahon calls, and he's like, "No, I'm not."
No,
I knew it was, but I would ask him I would ask him for dates because I don't know what the dates are.
Mm.
Like, I know we got Friday or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday, but I don't know what the dates are or the times. And he'd be like, "Hang on," and then all of a sudden some other guy come on, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, your dates are." I'm like, what's going on over there?
The entire cast of characters, and it's just Paul Heyman.
Yeah, and it's one big house. He's playing like 10 people.
Aaron, any other comments on this segment before we move on?
Nah, like you guys said, it was fine. They kind of flubbed the towel thing a little bit, but it was what it was. And
how'd they flub the towel thing? I didn't see that.
He tried to, Malenko tried to. They had to do it like 2 times to get it around his neck. It's just it was what it was. But I thought the match was good, and like you guys said, it didn't really hurt Hack because Hack still had Jason still had to cheat to beat him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I thought it was decent.
Well, it was a great way to keep Jason, I guess, hot, and then a great way to keep Hack still on the tracks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everybody comes out the end still relevant, at least. Yes, and not an afterthought.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because I mean, Jason, nobody gave 2 shits about Jason, but Hack was picking up steam.
Mm-hmm.
People were giving a shit about Hack.
Why do you think? I know we're trying to get through this. I'm going to get to the next segment. But why do you think Paulie had such I don't want to say the word affection for the character, but why do you think Paulie liked Jason so much? Like, what was it? Were they?
He had pictures. Yeah, they're. Believe me, I'll just tell you that.
Jason's like, "How do you like my future expose?"
There's something there.
I think it was that he was there, he was convenient, and he didn't think he was going anywhere else. So he's like, I'll do what I can do with this guy.
Listen, I'll say it right here, right now, because I don't give a shit. I'm out of the business. It had something to do with the Grand Wizard. I'll tell you that right now. And the Woods. I'm just telling you. I heard it. I heard it firsthand. I heard it. Me personally, I heard it out of Paulie's mouth, and him and Jason were arguing, and I heard. So, who? I mean, I don't know who said what. How are you going to explain what happened to you and the Grand Wizard in the Woods? And this is like 1995.
Yeah.
So this would have been like 1982.
Yeah, because he died in 83.
Yeah.
I hope he had his turban on at least.
Yeah. So like when I heard that, I was like, oh my goodness. Oh. All right. Oh.
He needed to be full gimmick Grand Wizard. Just a little Farsi's man or whatever again.
Yeah, but how great is that? I mean, how great is it that you hear that little bit of like dirt just thrown out there in front of everybody? How about you and the Grand Wizard in the Woods? Like, it's left to be out there. Like what? What happened?
And then the imagination just takes off.
Did he change a tire? I mean,
something got blown, but it wasn't a tire. I know that much.
Yeah, that's the best. That was in Hamburg too.
How appropriate.
Hambone.
Oh, the next thing on this show, Dean Malenko in a handicap match against Donnie Allen and Dino Sendoff. Well, we're going to get to the after match, which is very effective, good stuff, but the match itself is what it is. Malenko pins Donnie with a fireman's carry suplex, and then
like
Jason.
12 seconds.
Yes, it was not very long at all. Which, it shouldn't have been. I don't know why it was a handicap match, but whatever.
It was just to get over Dean being a badass. They even bring that up. Joe even says that. He's like, usually these handicap matches are to emphasize the strength of like a bigger man, but Dean Malenko, he's only 5'10" in this weight, but he can still beat two men. That's what.
Well, Aaron, why they only do it once? They only did it once.
Like, it should have been a thing for a little bit, but
I was booked somewhere else.
But it got Dean over as being a like a quote unquote legit
man. He's legit.
He's legit.
He's too legit to quit.
Legit.
I'm the ham bone of the
week. That's got it somewhere. Be here in the title of the show.
Legit.
Too legit to fucking boot.
That's the name of the show. Write it down.
Legit to boot.
The fucking boot. You gotta put fucking in there.
That's terrible.
All right. So after the match, though, we get more good stuff with Dean Malenko and Tasmaniac. Jason calls out Tasmaniac for another confrontation with Dean Malenko. And I am really enjoying this stuff. This is good stuff between these guys. And I'm not saying Taz wasn't over before, but this stuff is really going the extra mile to get him even more over.
What, the Brawl?
The ECW crowd, yes.
Well, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, that's. I mean, I hope I'm not talking to two fucking simpletons over there. But how are you going to get a badass over?
Like put him over another badass.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You haven't beat up a bunch of bad hats. But, just beat up everybody.
And it's starting the process of the evolution of him shedding the goofy gimmick, with, as we said the one day, the furry gimmicks and all that. And, you're starting to see Taz become more of the shooter character.
I wonder if Taz already had that in his mind.
He had to. He had to see the writing on the wall. I'm working for this promotion, and I see where this promotion is going, and this promotion is not going in the direction of like the WWF and WCW with goofy, wild gimmicks.
I gotta be more than just a one-dimensional type character.
Yeah, but do you think Taz is that smart, or is that?
I do. I always thought that they're much like Raven. I always thought the Taz gimmick was a combination of their two brains together.
I don't.
Just my opinion. Those two brains, I know, but or the 10 personalities of Paul Heyman.
Who was the guy in the tracksuit?
What's that?
There was when they came out and pulled everybody apart. I could pick out her, like Canyon was out there and Storm and Mike Norman was out there, but there was some dude in a suit.
Guys that knew what they were doing.
I had no fucking idea who that was. I just wrote Nice Guy Eddie. Like, he looked like fucking Nice Guy Eddie from Reservoir Dogs. Like, Chris Penn's here. What the fuck?
Yeah. They just took everybody in the locker room that knew what the fuck they were doing to go out there and go, fucking fix this shit. Whatever's going on out here. This thing's going awry. These goofs are obviously going 7 minutes overtime.
After Malenko kind of backs off and gets taken out of the ring, Taz chases Jason around, chases the photographer at ringside around. And then Malenko's back out and they're brawling in the aisleway. Like I said, just like last week, this is effective between these two guys and it's going in the right direction to put Taz over and get him as a, up a level as a star here in this company.
Well, clearly Taz is being elevated one more notch. And he's not having matches.
Right.
He's having either altercations or promos. He's not doing anything. He's not having matches with anybody. So that it's going to be a big setup for a big match.
Right. Yes. And what better way to get people to want to watch a wrestler than the anticipation? Don't have him wrestle on TV every week.
Yeah. I mean, that was the formula for ECW back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
It was like let's give them something that they're going to want to pay.
Right. Yeah, don't give them the big stars every week in action. Maybe you see them once in a while, but you want to. And I hate to compare ECW because they're two totally different things, but it's the same philosophy that the WWF used with Hulk Hogan in the 80s.
That's what I was just going to say.
You didn't see Hulk Hogan on TV every week.
That's what I was going to say. Was what we're saying isn't anything that's like, I don't want to say original, but it's how you're supposed to book fucking wrestling.
Right.
How wrestling fucking works. And that's why it's not what it used to be and not as popular as it used to be. Because you can just fucking turn on the TV and see fucking Roman Reigns having a competitive match against some fucking schlub. You know what I mean? It's like that. I'm just saying, like, I know Roman Reigns doesn't wrestle every week on TV. I'm just pulling a name out of my ass. But that's the difference between what it was and what it is now. Like, you didn't see Hulk Hogan on fucking Superstars, but you'll get a promo from him,
Well, that's all you would get if you saw him on Superstar.
Yeah, and on the other end of the spectrum, yes, every week you saw Ric Flair on Jim Crockett, but you didn't see him wrestle every week on Jim Crockett, But anyway, yes, so basic wrestling booking 101. We get Joey back at the hospital again, talking about how we're going to see why he's there. And then we get a Tommy Dreamer promo because he's about to have an I Quit match with the Sandman.
Good God. This is fucking terrible.
I actually wrote down in my notes, I don't have a lot, but I can't wait to hear what Aaron and Chad have to say about this promo.
I wrote down what he said. I can cut his promo.
Oh yeah, I forgot you were going to do that. Here we go.
Aaron's, I didn't have enough ink in my pen to write that promo down.
Here's Aaron's weekly Tommy Dreamer promo.
Yeah,
dude, that was brutal.
It was brutal, and he's like answering. He's doing the interview like he's answering questions, but nobody's asking him any questions.
Nobody's asking him the questions.
Yeah. So this is how it started. It just boom. Here's Tommy Dreamer. Here's his fat face. And he's like, yeah, I'm afraid of death. I'm afraid of this match. I'm not afraid of Sandman. I'm definitely afraid of saying I quit. Sandman, it took me a year of my life's, that's how he said it, a year of my life's to get these hardcores to at least respect me.
It was the year of his life, though.
And then he says, I'm afraid to say I quit. No, because I'll never say I quit. That was his fucking promo. Like, what? At the beginning of it, he said, I'm not afraid to say I quit. But then at the end of it, he said, I'm afraid to say I quit. Like, what the fuck is this promo?
Oh, it's Tommy Dreamer. I mean, how many shows do we have in the can where I've opened the show up and said Tommy Dreamer stinks?
It's a weekly occurrence.
I don't understand. I don't understand the obsession. Why he's still somewhat over? And believe me, Tommy Dreamer don't owe me money or anything. It's nothing like that. It's just a whole. I don't get it. I just don't get it,
Mm-hmm. Me neither.
See, I'm the opposite. Like, I can say that, like, I actually like Tommy Dreamer. Like, I liked when he got like the ECW shirt and the black pants.
Oh, you call him Tom? Oh, I see how it is. All right.
But this promo is fucking rough. It made no fucking sense. It was bad. It looked really it sounded and looked really Bush League.
Well, Tommy Dreamer, this was not a well, I mean, at this point, this was a Tommy Dreamer promo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what it was, because there's no chance that Paul's going to go 3, 2, 1, go, and let Dreamer do anything close remotely to what he did to for Raven.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can't even blame the poor promo skills on him being green, because at this point, didn't he start in like 89?
Well, technically it was 90.
Okay,
because he said he's celebrating his 32nd anniversary.
Okay, so yeah, he's been doing this for almost 5 years. At this point,
5 years.
Either the promo's there or it's not,
Yeah, but honestly, before he got to ECW, did he have any promotion where he was doing promos?
Well, he did the ICW.
Yeah, that's true.
But then them promos, I mean, seriously, what do you know?
Yeah. I'll see you in Parsippany.
Joseph Oldie.
Tony Atlas.
I'm telling you, you're gonna pay for what you did to me, and what's that? The place where goddamn, Jesus Christ, the big singer from the you know who I'm talking about, the guy who was like
Springsteen.
No, even bigger than that, Sinatra, where he's from. It's right up there. It's right up there by Parsippany.
Cherry Hill?
No, if you knew it and you heard it, you would just go, yeah, that's right.
I'm sorry, Chad. I don't mean to steal your gimmick this week, but if Archie Mitchell were here, he would know.
Well, I mean, Archie Mitchell knows all.
Hoboken.
There you go. What did Archie just text you?
No,
Archie just chimed in on the show. It's Hoboken.
It's like, it's Hoboken, you fucking idiots.
Yeah.
This
match, we always called it Roboken here.
Who's the fat guy from the 605?
Oh,
yeah.
Bixen's band? Who was it?
Yeah.
He's a little fat guy.
Bixen's band's two big fat guys.
He's a little fat little beaver.
I can't, like, after, like, I love listening to them guys, but after somebody posted pictures of them guys, I was just like, man, your credibility just went right out the window.
It's like it's like somebody unmasked the awesome Kongs.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much about it. Yeah, they unmasked the awesome Kongs.
Like them fucking Humphrey brothers or whatever that rode them bikes.
Dude, brutal. Just. Do you know the story about the awesome Kongs? By the way,
no. Well,
they got punished by their parents because the only reason why they wore a mask was because they didn't want their parents to know that they were wrestling because they weren't allowed to wrestle.
I have never heard that before. No.
Yeah. Their parents told them they were not allowed to be pro wrestlers.
So these fat fucks were like, if we put these masks on, nobody will know it's us.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
Like, you're the only two 700-pound.
Well, they figured they were on Global.
I just always imagine the day that Harley Race walked into center stage and somebody was like, Harley, we have your new proteges that you're going to manage. These two big fat slobs. Good luck.
Yeah, and the reason why they didn't work out was because they had issues with their parents. Like, I mean, I'm assuming they were grown adults.
They were grown.
Yeah,
they were overgrown adults.
But apparently they weren't legal because their parents told them you can't do this anymore. And I think I was there. Hold on. I got to think about this one. If I wasn't there, I was just there like 2 weeks after like that. And then I heard the story. Did you guys hear about the Kongs? And
you probably, when did you have your match with Vader?
It was February 94.
Yeah, I think they were still around then.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. And it was just kind of like just seeing them just going, you fucking goose don't have I'm a job guy and I have way more of a clue than you guys got going on over
here. You're sitting in the dressing room hooked up to oxygen.
Yeah, you guys don't even know what the fuck's going on. You don't know. And it's not, it wasn't, don't get me wrong, man. I'm not blaming it on them. It wasn't their fault. Mm-hmm. Who trained them? What, Ken Mantell? Somebody in Texas? Eric Embry? Oh, come on, seriously. I mean, you're gonna use Eric Embry as your
guiding light. Yeah,
your resume. So yeah, I mean, it's not their fault. It was just to me, it was just kind of a timing thing, and if I remember correctly, that's why Ian and Axel, when they went down to Global, they had to work with these two fucking goofs. And Ian kept saying he kept beating up Dewey. I don't know which one was Dewey. Which one of these two ham bones was Dewey?
I mean, they were both doughy, but I don't know which one was Dewey.
It was probably the Archie one, and yeah, he would beat him up, and I would just be like, oh, I guess it's because he was kind of like he wasn't a tough guy, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just beat him up. Me personally, I was never a fan of that, of just beating the guy up because I could beat a guy up,
right?
Because I never knew if I could beat the guy up in real life anyway. So why would I pretend that I'm going to beat the guy up in fake life and really beat him up? So yeah, I never did that.
We finish out we follow up, I should say, the poor Tommy Dreamer promo with more good stuff with Sandman and Woman together. Essentially, Woman, needling and berating Sandman and telling him, "Don't you quit on me," and balls. Yeah, busting his balls, and it's always good when these two are together. Love this tandem of Sandman and Woman.
Hear Sandman's line at the end of it when she's like, "You better not quit on me. You better not quit on me." Did you hear what he said?
I don't have it written down. If I did,
he said, "Good God, I'm almost starting to miss Peaches." Nah, no, I'm not.
I mean, I don't know about you, but Woman was hot enough that if I was laying in bed with her and she was telling me to please don't quit on me, I'm might not quit on her.
I'm trying my best, Nancy.
That's kind of what it was, because he was like looking down. He's like, I'm almost starting to miss Peaches. And then he looked at Woman and he was like, nah, no, I'm not. Never mind.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's like, let's just go to the hotel room and do it tonight, and then we'll see what happens Saturday at the arena. Me and you, Woman, we'll go there and we'll have anal tonight at the hotel room, and then tomorrow when we get to the ECW arena, me and what's his name, Gino Caruso, we're gonna tear it up.
So now we roll into the matchup itself. Well, actually, no. Joey's at the hospital again. And with more good build for this, he's like, no one expected this. Okay, so what's the hook here? That's what you're thinking. Why is, we're having an I Quit match. I could imagine someone went to the hospital, but no one expected why this person actually wound up in the hospital and who wound up in the hospital. So then we have Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman in an I Quit match at the ECW arena. I didn't hate this match. I mean, hell, Tommy Dreamer opens it up by hitting Sandman with part of a car.
Well, it was 25 minutes, but it was at least 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And he came out and he hit him with a quarter panel of a car, and yeah, I mean that's ECW, right?
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
and I've said it a couple times, but they keep becoming more ECW every week. This was the most ECW type thing we've seen so far, I think.
You're right, man. You're 100% right. It's becoming more ECW every single week, and then they're slowly but surely. Like, I just go back in time and look at how they booked Roman Reigns, where they shoved him down your throat for a few months. They shoved Tommy Dreamer down your throat through like 2 years.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. And eventually, they found something that stuck. I don't know what the word is, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. They found the again, accentuating the positives, downplaying the negatives, but they found a way to finally get him over with that crowd. I think that the Please Sir May have another deal started that.
With Tommy, it became, I don't want to say work, because everybody works, but it became don't wrestle, be hardcore, nobody wants to watch Tommy. They want to watch you be violent, basically.
Yeah. Beat yourself up. Beat yourself up to where the people are going to love you.
Right. Yes. And this
I was never a big fan of that, because I thought Raven was the perfect guy to book that. And then I guess we'll get to that, right?
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, Dreamer, he wanted to do too much too fast, too young, too early.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion of it.
And as far as the hardcore aspect of things, and like Aaron said, don't wrestle. People don't want to watch you wrestle. They want to watch you be hardcore. They want to watch you do this. They want to watch you get beat up. They want to watch you do extreme, quote unquote, things. People can say what they want, but guys like Dreamer, to a certain extent, but to another extent, let's say a Mick Foley, there is an art to that. I know that people like to like. There are a certain segment of the wrestling fan population that likes to shit on hardcore wrestling. But there's a difference between, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, Chad, because I've never been a worker. There's a big difference between hardcore wrestling and garbage wrestling. It doesn't take a lot of talent for some guy in a flea market to go through a bunch of light tubes and just, mutilate himself.
Yeah, that's why we have YouTube.
On the other end of the spectrum, a guy like a Mick Foley, yes, he did some crazy shit, but there was an art to what he did, and it was selective. He didn't just, the whole match wasn't just extreme spot, extreme spot, extreme spot. The matches, the spots were strategically placed for impact. I hope what I'm saying makes sense.
Yeah, and I got what you're saying. It's because Mick Foley, he was I guess you want to say he was an island unto himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was a guy in a company that didn't know how to work. He was a guy in a company that knew how to do spots,
mm-hmm.
and he was a guy in a company that knew how to do angles. And all right, well, I got to talk, so yeah, I'm going to talk, yeah, because they all practice their promo, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they all practice all that shit, but when it came time to deliver, you had to figure out like when is your time to do it, man.
Right. Yes.
Like Foley is, and like I said, I don't want to shit on any wrestlers or whatever, but like, if you're gonna book a fucking hardcore match with Mick Foley, and you're like, oh, and then we're gonna do this spot where I'm gonna hit you with a weed whacker, like an activated weed whacker. Mick Foley's gonna be like, no, you're not.
You're not hitting me with an activated weed whacker.
You're not hitting me with an activated weed whacker. I'm not.
Well, that'd be me. I don't know about Mick Foley, but Mick Foley might go, okay, you can buzz it around, and you might zip me a little bit in the knee or something like that. I don't know.
A little off the top.
and yeah, and who's to say there was even any fucking cord in the goddamn thing? Did anybody inspect the weed whacker?
There's a difference between Zandig and Mick Foley.
What?
That guy Zandig or whatever from fucking Combat Zone Wrestling or whatever.
Oh, all right. Give me a break. All right.
That's what I'm saying. There's a difference between fucking Zandig and Mick Foley. Mick Foley is a fucking wrestler who found a niche that those guys are fucking guys that don't know what they're doing, and the only way they could get any fucking publicity was by fucking doing stupid shit, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, at that time in this year, around this time, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, look at your predecessors. There's no more Onita, right? Mm-hmm. Onita's done. What? Then you got Matsunaga. Who the fuck wants to follow in Matsunaga's footsteps? This fucking guy's he's laying on bed of nails, kind of stuff. So you have to draw the line to how you. I mean, it's all about, to me, it's all about the build, right?
Yes.
You have to build to it. Why am I? I don't know. I don't know. I always say, why am I going to do this? Even today when I work at independent shows, and if a guy says, all right, this guy's going to put you through a table. Okay, why does he put me through a table? And then what's the payoff? Is there a payoff? Or is this it?
Right. Is this just a pointless bump for me to take?
Well, most of the time it's just because they just want people to see somebody go through tables. So, all right, I'll go through the table. But I mean, like, at the end of the day, you're running here like in the next 2 months or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, how are you going to bring me back? Am I going to miraculously just reappear and no sell the table?
They don't think that far ahead.
No, nobody thinks that far ahead.
Well, I know I got us off on a tangent about Mick Foley when we're talking about a Tommy Dreamer Sandman match, but just illustrating the significance of the difference between garbage wrestling and hardcore wrestling, because I have always classified them as two different things. This match itself, I thought was pretty good.
There's some fans that I made notes of. In the front row, there's a guy that looks like a large dwarf. He keeps trying to get involved. And then there's another guy that looks like a white trash Bob Ross.
Well, who are these people?
They were fans in the front row. It was the guy.
Yeah, but were they the I forgot what their name was called. The guys that were in the front row all the time.
It wasn't like these guys weren't with like Hat Guy and all that. There were just a couple guys I took note of because they were brawling around ringside and they didn't have a lot of like tight camera angles of the match. I'm kind of like looking at the fans, and it's just a large dwarf and a white trash Bob Ross.
Bob Ross. Well, I mean, I can't kind of dispute that. I don't know. He looks like Bob Ross.
White trash Bob Ross.
What do you want from me? He looks like Bob Ross.
I'm just picturing Bob Ross with a afro mullet now.
And managed by like Bill Alfonso. Could you imagine Bill Alfonso managing Bob Ross? This
happy little tree.
Tell your daddy-o.
Put a happy little tree over there, daddy-o.
Happy little tree.
Yeah, you think that blender you have is good? He's got a blender that could chop 100 times better than that.
Oh, so the match itself. Aaron, your thoughts?
Tommy Dreamer takes a weird fucking pile driver. I know that. Like every time he got picked up,
it was awful. It was awful.
His legs separated. It's like fucking Sandman. It's probably like, God damn, Tommy, close your fucking legs. You're losing friends. Right.
Dude, it also was Sandman. Sandman can never do a pile driver correctly. Never. And I bet you to this day he still can't do a pile driver correctly. He don't know. He don't know. I don't know how hard it is. I don't know. I'm sure he's had females or somebody in his legs before where.
Well, like Aaron said, there's the pile driver on the chair. Sammy hits a pile driver on Tommy and then lights up a cigarette. We're getting to the angle. Go ahead, Aaron.
He also did a fucking clothesline, or tried to do a fucking top rope clothesline, and he fell off the fucking ropes. I don't know if you guys saw that, but like he fucking tried to do that clothesline. It looked like shit, and Joey was like talking about Sandman coming off the ropes like a cat. I'm like, no. That was bad. But anyway, go ahead.
Then we get to the angle to end the match here. Sandman lights a cigarette, hits another pile driver on Tommy, and then the cigarette gets in the eye, a cane in the eye, Sandman quits, and he is going to get stretchered out here. It turns out that Sandman, that's the hook of the show, like I said, folks, he's the one that is going to be going to the hospital after this. And I thought it was an effective ending to the match. And we'll get to the backstage stuff to round it out. But any final thoughts here on the I Quit match, guys?
I really enjoyed it. And I thought it was, like I said, like other than the wonky pile drivers or whatever, it was effective and I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah.
Well, all right.
And then we go to the backstage segment where Sandman is on the floor. And Todd Gordon and everybody is around him, and woman's calling Tommy a bastard, and just, I mean, it what do I want to say? It doesn't, it has a feeling of realness and spontaneity. Tommy's not the heel going into the match, but in the end, coming out of the match, he's kind of the heel in the situation.
She actually called him a no good, rotten, low down bastard.
All right, there you go.
It was fucking great. She said, "Get away from here, you no good, rotten, low down bastard." She did fucking fantastic.
And as always, woman is a shining light here in ECW. We get Joey at the hospital to round out the show. And we're going to he says we'll get updates on Sandman's condition, et cetera, et cetera. But overall, that's the end. And we'll close out with you guys' final opinions on this episode of ECW.
Getting better.
Mm-hmm.
I'd give it a B+.
Oof. Oof.
I just, like I said, it's just because this angle and and the backstage chaos of it and everything like that. It's something that I always fucking remember, and nobody had done anything like it before. And it was so good that fucking Sullivan stole it when he was in WCW. He stole it with that NWO beating down Rey Mysterio and Marcus Bagwell and all that. Like it was good shit, and I enjoyed it. Like Hack.
Just think about how we judge the shows, the previous shows, and this is that good.
I thought this whole thing was good. Like I said, like Hack he didn't even say where's Woman at. He was like, where's Nancy? You know, that type of shit. Like little things they did in it were very effective in my opinion.
I know, but it was all pre-taped shit. Like it was one of them shows that were what are we at the end of the can?
Yeah,
Aaron,
I think so. Yeah.
You know, we're at Nate. Are we at the end of the can? Where
I think the everything but Sandman and Dreamer was, because the Sandman Dreamer match was actually from the previous Saturday at the big ECW Arena show, but everything else, yes, was from like you said, at the end of the TV taping, because you got and I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it was bad, but you had last week we had a pull apart with Dean Malenko and Taz, and this week we had a pull apart with Dean Malenko and Taz. So, we're probably about to go into a fresh TV taping next week, I'm assuming.
I would say the same. I would probably say the same thing too, because it just looked like it was just like, all right, this is the last of what I have for this month of tapings, and we gotta make an angle here. And who we got? We got Stinko Malenko. We're gonna throw him out there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And we're gonna see what we can do with him, and then see who. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Malenko was kind of like. Do you think he could have been the beacon of the company? You know what I mean? The beacon where it was the light, where it was like, come towards me. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, him or Benoit, Sabu, not Dreamer. I mean, Dreamer, like I said, this was fine with Dreamer, but he's not your, I don't know, to me, he's not your centerpiece. And
no, I'd never give Dreamer any credit for that at all.
and as much as I think Shane Douglas was a good wrestler, I never saw him as the centerpiece either. I mean, I know he was the champion and he was the guy they were pushing as the wrestling champion, but to me, he never did the trick as the centerpiece either. So
he wasn't a booker.
Mm-hmm.
He may have booked his shit, but he never booked anything else. I mean, as far as I know,
I'm just honestly, and I know I get away from this show, and we do want to wrap up, but I'm very excited that we're getting super close to Raven coming in, because Raven was my favorite thing about ECW personally, him and Foley. So I'm super excited that he's coming in soon, and we'll get there. And like I said, I don't want to harp on it, but talk about a brain, talk about a mind, and a great performer.
Yeah, okay. Well, we haven't got there yet. Can't talk about him.
Mum's the word.
I mean, if you want, I can. When I hang up, I'll just call Raven and ask him, and just be like, and he'll be like, hey, I don't know. I never really thought about anything. I just kind of went there. I don't know.
Well, that being said, guys, it was another great show. I have another great title to give to it. To Legoot.
Our fucking boot.
I don't know what it is.
Well, let's give some parting words for our listeners, and we will sign off, gentlemen.
Just thanks for listening, guys. You've made us it doesn't take a lot, but you've made us the top-rated wrestling show on the WrestleNet radio, so we appreciate that. We're up to like 500 people or whatever.
That was generic as a motherfucker. We're the top-rated. You say we're the top-rated like wrestling show on whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I just wanted to make sure you said that. We're the top-rated show on whatever. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's the only app that I ever use. I use the whatever app.
Yeah, nobody can dispute it. They can't say I'm lying.
They can't see the numbers, and they don't know what the fuck you're talking about anyway.
So fucking let them eat fish heads. They don't give a shit.
Let them eat fish heads?
Roly-poly fish heads.
Oh no, you're not even talking about that 1979 video on MTV, are you?
It's fucking awesome.
Dr. Demento is all I'm thinking about.
All right, that's what you're fucked up, man. Like, I only remember this shit because I had a fucked up childhood, and you remember this shit because you're older now and you remember this shit. Dr. Demento, roly-poly fish heads. Oh my goodness. Well, there you go. You can throw that into the name of the show.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us this week on Reliving the Extreme. And as always, thank you for your support. Join our Facebook group, and we will see you next week as we continue Reliving the Extreme.
Archie Mitchell.
Reliving the Extreme is a production of Maxson Media, all rights reserved.